I'm John Schneckloth, and our operation is Schneckloth Farms Incorporated. And we are currently a little bit of over a 2,600 acre operation. We run a 50-50 corn soybean rotation, which we like because it makes it very simple to no-till into both of those environments for us. It's just my son and myself in this operation, so we got a nice balance of acres and labor. So that's kind of where we're at. After years of trying various things to no-till corn, we ended up with what I consider to be basically a relatively simple setup that anybody can use, but it's very effective. And we start out, I read about this basic setup. The Hora brothers, I believe, from down near Washington, Iowa, came up with this because they wanted something that would plant in wet conditions. And I thought, you know, our no-till environment tends to be a little moister, and that would probably work for us. And so we've kind of gone to a little bit of their system, and it does work very well for us. We just have a simple Martin row cleaner on the front, and all we want out of that row cleaner is just to brush the trash off the soil. We don't want that row tiller to be tilling any soil because it leaves too much of a trench in our erodible ground. So we just want it cleaning a little strip. The first thing that we want working the soil in the spring is the double disc openers. In our soybean ground, there's plenty of tilth, and the soil is soft enough that with adequate down pressure, we never have any trouble getting seed in the ground. I believe Hans is running about 70 pounds of pressure in the airbags, which is another thing we like about this style of planter. We can run constant pressure on this row because the seed volume and the pressure are constant all the time, so we can get the same planting condition all the time. We have just the standard John Deere depth gauge wheels on here. At one time I had tried different depth gauge wheels that were indented next to the double disc openers to keep the pressure off and lower the sidewall compaction. But then everybody started building them this way, so we've just left the John Deere on here now, and they've been doing okay for us. We have Martin closing spades on the back, and at one time we ran 2 of these closing spades. But what we found is our soil is soft enough and have enough tilth to it that even closing spades tends to run too deep sometimes and actually kick seeds out. So we went to 1 closing spade and 1 rubber wheel. And the other feature is we have a Keeton seed firmer in here to make sure that seed gets planted in the bottom of the seed trench to get the proper depth that we want. One reason we do not run a straight coulter in front is we don't want anything hairpinned into that seed trench. We just want that dirt to be spread, that seed dropped in there, and get good soil to seed contact. And we run a drag chain behind just in case these do not get things closed up real well. A little cup of dirt being drug along back here tends to even things up, and it fills that trench, eliminates a little bit more of a chance for water to run down there and all those things. So I admit it's a very simple system, but it works for us.